OVH and all that, bigged him up. I mean, he was basically supporting a lot of the independent rappers coming out of upstate New York, Philly. You know what I'm saying? You gave a voice to a lot of these dudes in their platforms, Mikey. So I gotta give you your flowers, bro. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
I
I hope
really appreciate you, man.
you know.
You know,
And
I
listen,
seen
bro.
you.
You always listen. You gave me my flowers, bro. So I gotta give you yours, bro. You know you my guy, Mikey.
This Mikey
Right,
T,
yeah.
what's
What's good,
up?
man?
The legend in the building.
What's going on, man? You know, Bullet, you know, Gotti, man, you've been tapping into my live videos, showing love. You were one of the first people that actually did a blog defending me, and it was
Fact.
pretty dope. I was like, yo, I was like, people actually give a fuck, you know, what I'm doing out here. I see
Yeah,
that my message is actually getting out there, and I
yeah,
know you're more in tune on Clubhouse, so that's why
yeah.
I really appreciate you actually bringing me on the platform.
Yeah, I wanted to bring you on because like I always say, man, a lot of people come on these platforms, man, and they'll try to slander somebody or slander somebody's character, make fun of what happened. A lot of dudes was joking, but one thing I say, Mikey T did what a lot of dudes ain't really doing, man. He went to Philly, went to Max's, stood there for a whole hour,
Yep.
stood his ground,
Big
didn't run.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Even though, say they always say, yo, a dude,
Yeah, you was brave for that, Mikey T.
you know what I'm
Cause
saying? He
For
might,
you
he
knew
real.
might have not, he might have not came out the victor, but he still hold it down, bro.
By himself,
he
too,
knew the
Gotti,
hands
Yeah.
and
right?
feet
By
program
himself.
was coming, and you ain't calling cops. I respect you for that,
So,
bro.
we
Real
gotta,
shit.
I gotta respect you on that, Mikey. That's why I said, like, when I did that video, I said I didn't like that because at the end of the day, bro, you came out there on some real shit, and you supported those brothers. So
Yeah.
I gotta give you your flowers for that. You support a lot of these dudes, and a lot of dudes on YouTube from the gully TVs and all them throwing stones at you. That didn't make no sense because you not a bad dude. You a real good dude, man. I like what you do with your platform, having dudes come up there and freestyle to promote their brands. You really be helping out the bloggers. You really be helping out the independent artists. So I gotta give you your flowers on that, Mikey.
Hell yeah, man. You know, yeah, I honestly, you know, to be 100% honest with everybody listening, man, you know, like I've been to Max's like 50 times. You know, I've been to all the spots, gyms, Max's, I've been to Geno's, I've been to Pat's
You ain't
before when I was
you been
really
to
new to it.
Delisandro's? Hey, Mikey, you been to Delisandro's?
Nah, but
Next time you
I've been
go,
to Uncle Luke's. What was it? What's that
yeah,
spot called? The Luke spot?
yeah. Next time you go to Delisandro's, bro. That's the best in Philly.
Yeah, I think that's what AR Rab told me to do too. He's like, "Yo, man, you need to go. Why didn't you go to
That's
Delisandro's,
a
bro?
fact.
Because
No, that was me, Mikey.
Max
I'm
is
in
what
this
I
joint.
knew, y'all. Max is pretty much what I knew, and you know, I wasn't trying to disrespect Leak Moss by going out to Max's. You know, I be smoking. Everybody that be watching my podcast, they know I pretty much be smoking all the time. So I really wasn't even putting two and two together with that to try and like intimidate anybody or try to make myself look good. To be 100% honest with you guys, I usually just go there to get a cheesesteak. You know what I mean? Even though the dudes at Max's, they be getting at you, man. They be grinding you up there in Philly.
Yo, them old heads funny as hell,
Clubhouse
man.
Daily
Mikey.
News.
If they
Exclusive.
fuck with you, they good dudes. All they do is they ain't funny though, they good.
Yeah, man.
You're listening to the
But yeah,
Bulletz
man. No,
Gotti
Ab
Show,
told me to go
brought
to
to you by
Delisandro's, man.
Clubhouse Daily
I ain't
News.
lie, bro. I ain't lie.
Hey, Mikey, I just
What's
want to
good?
say, man, how you been though so far? How you been holding up and everything, man? And I've been seeing the platform. I saw your last video you did. You was talking about the game and 50.
Yep.
Like one thing I like about your content, you be always coming with the raw, uncut shit. Especially the Bang of Smurf joints. Like you see people talking about it now on Clubhouse. Like I was in a room with Caddy. He was talking about the situation with with 50. But I remember
Right.
back when you was doing those videos, man. Nobody
I'm the
was
one who
touching.
actually exposed that whole situation when Cadillac Ta's girlfriend was actually walking through the wrong neighborhood. She was walking through a G Unit neighborhood, and the guys were hollering at her so much to the point where Cadillac Ta pulled up in his black caddy and he went and hollered at 50 Cent. And 50 Cent ended up smacking one of the G Unit guys over hollering at Cadillac Ta, who at that point, you know, Cadillac Todd was a little bit bigger. You know, he was the guy being featured on the Fast and the Furious soundtrack and shit like that. He had the Pov City anthem out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
50 and G Unit, when they would see these street dudes who were actually still in Pov City or different parts of Queens, he would actually pay them respect, even though he would diss Ja Rule.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. So, Mikey, man, um, I just want to know, man, let's start it. Let's get it started, man. So, what really made you want to start doing blogging and this whole podcasting thing, man? Because I know I remember watching you, Mikey, when you were first doing the Bang of Smurf videos, and those joints did crazy numbers on YouTube. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
the Bang of Smurf joints, a lot of the other joints that you was doing, like with
40
with
Glock.
all yeah, all that, like even with Upstate, even with Griselda, even the Griselda joints, 38 Special. You know, a lot of the dudes that you put on your platforms, nobody knew, and now they big artists now. Look at Griselda. Griselda doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I
so
actually
you
linked up with Benny the Butcher right before 2019. You know, like that's what it is about this grind. You know, I'm in Connecticut. I had to drive 5 hours up to Buffalo to go meet up with Benny the Butcher. And then when I started leaving, it started snowing. So I'm like, man, I done got myself into some shit. But you know, why I really got involved in doing this is because, you know, like there was a lot of news that you wouldn't be able to hear from my side of town. You know, I wasn't from Queens, New York. I wasn't in Philly. I wasn't in Boston. I wasn't in these markets where you could literally just go and buy the mixed CDs. You know what I'm saying? So I would get the magazines and shit like that. And I'd be reading the magazines, or I'd go to the stores actually and read them in the store and shit like that.
hmm
And it gave me an idea, and I was like, man, I need to know more about these artists. There's so much more about people that I want to know about. Why don't we know more about Murda Mace from back when he was really running, doing this Harlem thing and shit like that? And that's
Right.
why I got into the game, you guys, so I can really just put out a lot more information about rappers and shit. Like Bangum Smurf. One of the first things I read about Bangum Smurf was that he got kicked out of G Unit, and then within 6 months he got a record deal at Koch. You know, I
hmm
wanted to like expound on news like that.
hmm No, that's a fact. That's a fact,
Mikey,
Mikey. I,
you
I,
from
I, I fuck with
Connecticut?
you.
Yeah, I'm from Connecticut actually. So like it's kind of like the perfect position. You know, I can drive to New York, I can drive to Jersey if I got to link up with
Facts.
like Sue Surf, if I got to link up with Fat Boy SSE, or I could drive
Yeah,
to
it's a
Philly,
tri-state, bro.
No,
Philly,
anywhere.
I was a
Philly,
little
New
confused.
York, Connecticut. It's a tri-state.
Yeah, I'm from Connecticut myself, my brother.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Who's that?
That's 203 Richie.
203 Richie, man. Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you for tapping in, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Salute, bro.
Now, something, Mikey. Connecticut is one of those markets. A lot of people don't know this though. When it comes to that hip hop market, that's the market you gotta tap in is Connecticut because it's a mixtape. It's a mixtape city. You know what I'm saying? So Max B, 50 Cent, Cameron,
Right.
you
Real
name it,
French.
the locks, they all went through there, cracked it open over there in Connecticut, and that blew a lot of dudes up. Connecticut. When you get to that Connecticut market, you can get to any market out of the town. So that's one of those markets where you first
Gotti,
blow.
even
You
X was
first
out
blow.
here too, though. Even in the rap battle
Yeah,
days.
DMX was out there. DMX was out there heavy. DMX is out
King
there like
Von.
King Von. Yeah,
King Von got some shine over here too.
yeah. Connecticut, Mikey King. That's what people don't understand. Connecticut is dope. When you go to Connecticut, then you go to Jersey, then you go to Philly, then you go down south, and it's off to the
Yeah,
races. You know what I'm
my
saying?
cousin
Right
just
there, it's
brought
off to
out
the
Dave
races.
East at Toast Place. He just did a show last week.
That's lit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man.
no,
I
that's
always used to be running down to Toad's place. You know, I actually did an interview with Immortal Technique at Toad's place. But my guy, one of the artists I've been messing with my whole career and shit, RBH, Ryan Beheezy, he always performed at Toad's place. You know, so back in the day, I always was on the Toad's place stage. I would actually introduce him. You know, I was working for I was working with a bunch of blogs like All Hip Hop back in the day. I would put all my interviews on World Star. So he would say, yo, a lot of people know about you, Mikey T, so I need you to come on the stage and actually introduce me. And fast forward years later, I go to a show in New York with K Camp and I go to a show with K Camp, and you got Taxstone actually hosting these shows. So I'm like, damn. I'm
Yep.
like, this is what my boy actually saw from me. He saw a light where a blogger could go from just being on the internet to, being on the stage hosting, sort of like what a comedian does, going from doing all the stunts to getting into, live comedy and shit. Just the next natural transition, really.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That is true. That is true. I look at, listen, Mikey, I look at, yourself, many others, even myself, is like the modern day Source magazine and Double XL, because the bloggers is the tastemakers for the industry and for the artists, because they know what's really popping if you really in tune. And watching your platform, you know, you could get really in tune with who is a hot artist that's coming out of the tri-state area. And basically that's coming out of, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Jersey, Philly, New Jersey, all the way up to motherfucking even down south. You get to know who these dudes are, who these rappers are. Cause like when I watch your channel, like I didn't even know OBH had artists out there in CT. You know what I'm saying? Like I really like I watched it and I was like, oh damn, they got these dudes. And then you start seeing he was promoting 38 Special and Benny. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really getting in tune because I when I listen to Benny and then I really listen to his story is like one of the dopest stories to hear. And when how he tell it, like how he got in the game and how he first started his first biggest songs that he did was with, you know, French, G Herbo. You know what I'm saying? So he tell you that he was already in the game, but getting with Griselda, it took him to the next level. So you watch your platform, you get to learn different stories about different artists that come on there. I
Check
give
Yeah.
it
him
out.
your flowers
You
on that,
gotta
man.
check, yo, Gotti, you gotta check out the track he did with one of my folks in CT. He
Oh,
did a song
word?
yeah. He did a song with a nigga named Slowly for
Okay,
five.
okay, okay.
That shit
Okay.
fire, bro. Manny, I don't know if you know about him. He from Bridgeport as well. Shit fire, bro. Shit slap.
Yeah, I don't know if many people really know, but I was actually really close friends with Dave Mays from the Source magazine. When I moved down to Florida, I actually started working with Hip Hop Weekly magazine. They had a compound, 4 buildings, and Dave pretty much just put me on right away, letting me come in and out of the Hip Hop Weekly studios. This is actually they had actually right after they had just gotten out of the Source. So it was like, damn, I met them right after they lost the Source. So I really didn't have an opportunity to see what those buildings were like in New York City. But I got an opportunity to meet so many different people in Florida from I remember Dave sent me to go link up with Rico. What was this called? Rico Dash. Well, I'm messing up the name. But another one, BG, Roscoe Dash. Yeah, when Roscoe Dash had no hands out and shit. Roscoe Dash just doing crazy shit, smoking in the hotel, even though you're not supposed to be. Dave putting me in the studio with BG. BG was zooted out of his mind, y'all. He gave me this big ass blunt. I just remember seeing BG get up from doing an interview, and then he still had the microphone on his attached to him and shit. BG was one of the realest rappers I ever got to watch. Like this dude, I sat there, I watched him actually write his music on a pad with a marker. You know what I mean? Not saying I haven't done that with other artists, you know what I mean? Because I went on to work at Scott Storch's studio as well, and he would bring everybody in from Pusha T to Keisha Cole to, you know what I mean? Just everybody. So but that was just one of the landmark relationships I had with Dave Mays, the former owner of the Source magazine, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lead the way. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, we are the modern day Source magazine. You know what I mean? I have no problem saying that a lot of us would probably be writing for the Source or Double XL if print magazine was actually still a major thing. Back in these days, guys, Dave Mays was selling 400,000 copies of the Source magazine in a month, just
Right.
like it was like dropping a major album every month.
Yeah, that's absolutely true because them ranking systems, you know, Mikey, them ranking systems and Source meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you rated an album 5 mics, that mean that album was the best album you ever heard. Like if you even ranked a good album, like I'm talking about a good album, 5.5 mics, 4.5 mics. Like dudes used to get mad about those mics. The mic system used to get a lot of people mad. A lot of
That's a
people
fact.
mad. So Source meant a lot to the culture. You know what I'm saying? And everybody loved the Source. Double XL also, when Double XL was the thing, it meant a lot to the culture. You know what I'm saying? With the freshman covers and all that. So I mean, you
Clubhouse
know,
Daily News
magazines
exclusive,
back then
Bulletz
meant a
Gotti
lot
show.
to the culture. And now that we got
Like, comment,
bloggers mean a
subscribe.
lot to the culture too.
Right.
Because now the bloggers is what the magazine culture was in the 90s and the 2000s. You got dudes that's going to tell you who's the hottest rapper and who basically is the guy that you need to listen to. You know what I'm saying? What is the go-to album to listen to? They going to tell you. The bloggers going to tell you who album is trash and who album is fire. You know, that's why I can't knock an academics. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock a Mikey T, the movie star, anybody else, Adam 22, whoever's in this game when it comes to talking about this music shit. You can't knock these dudes because they are the tastemakers of the culture. Straight
Yeah,
like that.
you know, one thing I want to add in as well, you know, when I first got into the game, I was totally content having the camera on the artist, letting the artist tell their story, talk about their projects. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people actually commend me for this in my interviews. They're like, damn, this is refreshing. Mikey T is just letting the guy talk. He's letting the dude talk. He's not talking over him, as you see some interviews will do nowadays. So I've interviewed pretty much a who's who in the game. One of my first interviews was actually AZ. You know what I mean? So I'm coming into the game. What third, fourth, fifth, sixth interview is AZ. And so that really just did a lot for me in my own mind. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interviewing all these guys and I'm ascending. I'm getting to bigger levels. I'm linking up with Rick Ross. I'm linking up with Yo Gotti, but I'm also still linking up with the upcomers. Like I linked up with guys like Young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I linked up with Little Dirk. Rest in peace to Young Dolph. I linked up with Little Dirk back in the day when he shaved his head from having the braids. You know what I mean? Went from having the dreads, and he was like, "Let me try something different." You know, and he came to the studio. I met Chinks. Chinks Drugs DM'd me when he got out of jail, and he said, "Mikey, we need to work." For some reason, me coming into the game, doing the interviews like I was doing, putting the spotlight on the artist, it worked, you guys. Now, to fast forward a little bit, a lot of my artists that I was working with, as you see, I got videos with Gilly the Kid, 600,000-700,000 views. Video with Ab and Dark Low, hundreds of thousands of views. You know what I'm saying? 40 Glock. We all know what happened with 40 Glock eventually. Ab got locked up. So then me and Dark Low started going hard, you guys. I'm like, Low, we got to do just what you did when Ab got locked up the first time, except we're on the internet with it more nowadays. So me and Low started shooting mad interviews. Low unfortunately wrote that letter, you guys, and put himself in a terrible predicament where he actually, you know, got locked up for writing the letter. When he went to the trial, when he went into the courtroom, they said, yo, get out of the courtroom, or they followed him back to his crib, actually, and they searched his house and arrested Dark Low. So now I've lost Dark Low. Now I've lost ARAB, two of the biggest guys on my platform. What happened with Gilly the Kid? Gilly the Kid created the most major platform that's now right there alongside the Breakfast Club, right there alongside Vlad almost. $1 million worth of game. So I didn't have as much access to Gilly as I once did. Now, let me just break this down for everybody who may or may not know.
Gilly wasn't that big back then.
Well, you know, Gilly has paid me so much respect because of the fact that I didn't care about if he was big, if he was popping, or whatever. You know, me and Gilly and I really just formed a relationship. But let me break this down for anybody who may not know. I was actually the original third host on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. It was not D Wade. D Wade was not the original third host of the show. It was actually going to be Mikey T, the movie star, or as Gilly was calling me, Mikey No Trace. Now, at that point, I was not comfortable getting on camera, you guys. I never had been on camera before. But with Gilly blowing up, with Ab getting locked up and Low getting locked up, unfortunately, you guys, that's why I had to say enough is enough. And that's why I ended up jumping on camera during the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. And ever since then, you guys, I have not looked back. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people could be like, yo, getting on the camera is nerve wracking, or, people could be, faced with being shy or whatever. You got to get past that shit, man. We got a job to do here. We got news to spread.
Yo, Mikey.
What happened to your position on the $1 million worth of game? What happened to them?
The position on $1 Million Worth of Game, actually. So I actually shot 2 episodes with Gilly and Wallow. I shot 2 episodes with Gilly and Wallow, but I had a partner who actually, one of my guys was actually supposed to be editing it, but he was really a music video editor. So that's where it really didn't work out, because of the fact that we weren't keeping up with the edits. I don't want to say my guy didn't believe in the show, because I totally believed in $1 Million Worth of Game, you know what I mean, to where they've gone. I knew Gilly could get a deal with
Clubhouse,
Sports.
Daily News.
Evident from the way that we were shooting interviews together that he is charismatic. You know what I mean? He's always creating new slogans and shit. And it's awesome that Gilly wanted to bring me along with him. I'm not the type of dude who's gonna be like, yo, Gilly, bro, send me 15,000 to my Cash App, bro. Man, I started that shit with you, bro. I'm not that type of dude, y'all. I'm getting it on my own way. I had an artist very early in the game, Maybach Dice. We was repping with MMG when I first got into the game with Bang'em Smurf and shit.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? We was going hard. I had Dice on every blog website that you could name. You know what I mean?
Hey, Mikey,
but the shit didn't.
Speaking of Dice, do you feel like, the whole snitching allegations when it came out with Ox, right? With Dice, right? And they brought the paperwork out on Forbes DVD. Do you think that hurt us? Do you think that hurt his career in the game with MMG and shit?
Let me tell you, man, at that point, that was like 2010, 2011. And at that point, like, I was really so new to the game, you guys, that I didn't really know how to respond to that type of shit. Even though I had all of my interviews, like my first interview went on World Star Hip Hop. Like, I could have simply, back in the day when Maserati Fox made a video saying that he was going to go to, Miami and perform and shit all over Rick Ross, I could have just went to New York, filmed a video with Dice saying, you're not going to Miami. If you do go to Miami, we're going to show up and shut you down. And that would have went on World Star. But I wasn't really thinking like that back then, you guys. So, we didn't really respond to all that Ox shit in the right way. And yeah, it did hurt Dice. It certainly did, because everybody on the internet every day is hearing about a new Dice song or Dice linking up with a new artist. And I'm putting it and I'm siphoning it onto all these websites. And then Doggy Diamonds came and shut it down on the reel. But also, there's more to that, you guys. There's more to Dice's relationship with MMG. Because as I got closer with Bang'em Smurf and I'm searching through emails and I'm seeing Gucci Poochie, you guys know Gucci Poochie. They call him Alex.
Yeah. Most definitely. That's the bro.
And he was like the main guy, the vice president of MMG and shit. And they're sending messages to Bang'em Smurf and shit. And they're like, listen, we need Dice on the remix for this diss. We need Dice on the remix for this diss to 50 Cent. And then I'm reading their response, and they send like a 1-word response. And I'm just like, wow, they really didn't.
Was around, Mikey. I think Ross had him around just because that shit was 50. He wanted some Queens niggas, you know what I'm saying, around it.
Well, bro, they were trying to give him opportunity. You know what I mean? But I just don't think that Dice had the best management around him at the time.
I see you said that too when you was talking about Smooth.
Oh yeah, and there's
Who was his management at the time? Who was managing him at the time?
There was nobody really managing
Yo,
him.
Mikey, wasn't Smurf and Domination managing him?
Yeah, Smurf and Domination and Fredro Starr were practically managing
Yeah.
him. I mean, if you want to say throwing a mink on somebody is managing them,
Yeah.
I would
Oh man.
I would love somebody to come throw a mink on me though right now. That'd be cool.
Dice had did a Queen Slip interview and said he's still good with Ross, but you can tell it ain't the same. You ain't signed. Fuck being good with him. You ain't never get signed. You ain't never flew through with the deal.
Yep, that's
Hey,
true,
Hey,
man.
Jim,
Mikey, what's
you
your
got
current
any?
relationship with OBH? What's your current relationship with OBH, Leak Moss and them?
So my current relationship with OBH, I still talk to some of the guys and stuff. A lot of the guys hit me up and stuff. Um, all the dudes that really rap on the group and shit. Leak Moss seems to have an issue every time that I message him. Like I've only messaged the man once or twice because Ab had hit me up and said, "Yo, Mikey, I need you to make sure that my brother and everybody that you know that's close to me has my new number." So then I send this message to Leak, and isn't that's just a little bit strange to me? Like a couple of my homies have said that to me. Like, why is he hitting you to tell his brother his information? You know what I mean? But whatever, it is what it is. So I'm not a little chump. So I'm gonna hit Leak Moss and be like, yo, your brother wanted you to say me to tell you this information. But Leak is going on all these blogs and saying that I'm hitting him up as if I want to get an interview with him or something. And it's just kind of like, I don't know why he's trying to flip the narrative like that. You know what I mean? Because in all honesty, you guys, since this whole incident with Leak Moss, I feel like I left them in the dust. You know what I mean? I did like 100 videos since that. Like that's just how I personally feel. But my relationship with OBH, man, a lot of people get disrespectful and they say OBH is dead. You know what I mean? A lot of people say OBH is no more. A lot of people get disrespectful like that and shit. Leak and all them, they're carrying the torch. So I guess if Leak and them, they don't want Dark Low in the group. I still mess with Ab. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm not messing with Leak and all them OBH dudes, if you guys want the real story, I actually tried to help Leak. You know what I mean? I'm the one who put Leak together with China Mac.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had seen that record.
Now I remember. I remember. I remember. You was
Yeah, I
really.
heard
I'm
that
not gonna
record.
lie, Mikey. I'm gonna keep it real. I watched you ride hard when dudes was really trying to blackball them from the industry. You really was riding for them, man. You was keeping the name alive. You know what I'm saying? You was really keeping. You was bringing exclusive content. So I gotta give you that, man.
Right. And yo, they thought I was on some snake shit because me and Leak had gotten into an argument. So Leak thought I was gonna run to everybody and be like, yo, don't mess with Leak. Yo, don't mess with Leak. Like I was on some old, 2003 shit. You know what I mean? Like we was on some G Unit 50 Cent type shit. But I wasn't on that, you guys, because I put Leak together with China Mac. I reached out to China Mac. I got that together. I hit Leak. I said, yo, Leak, this is when me and Leak are good. I got RJ Payne, bro. We need to get this record with RJ Payne. Leak is like, oh man, I don't know what's up with rappers, man. But he was like, oh man, I don't know, Mikey. He's like, when you rap with RJ Payne, you got to be ready to rap. You really got to be ready to go. I'm like, what are you saying right now, bro? We got a song going with RJ Payne. There ain't nothing more to say. We don't need to be talking about all that. You're gonna have a couple hours to put your shit together. So then we got the beat to RJ Payne, you guys. I had just done an interview with RJ Payne, so me and RJ Payne were politicking and shit. So I got the beat to RJ Payne. Payne gets back to me like 10, 13 days later. You know, RJ Payne is like, yo, Mikey T, I'm vibing to that beat this weekend. I got you on the vocals. So I'm like, dope. Let me call Leak. I hit Leak up. Leak, what's popping? RJ Payne just hit me. He's got the vocals for us this weekend. Leak is like, yo, Mikey, man, I'm in the studio. I'm in the studio right now mastering my project, man. We're going to have to send him something else. I'm like, Leak, come on, bro. I'm like, RJ Payne just hit me back and said, he's got the song. He's vibing to it. We can't throw him off. I mean, let me know if you guys think I was tripping, but I was like, we can't throw RJ Payne off. Why can't you just master everything else and just hold off on this one record and we'll get the vocals and then you can
Yeah.
master it? And he's like, Mikey, man, he's like, you're really starting to annoy me. I'm like, what? He's like, you're really starting to annoy me right now. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I'm annoying you because I'm trying to help you with your career. He's like, I don't care about this shit, Mikey. You think I care about this shit? And I'm like, wow, so you're telling me you don't care about this shit? And I'm wondering, why am I even talking to you on the phone right now? Because y'all, I'm not the most busy person in the world, but I got a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean? I can make a part of my life to actually help people like I'm doing here with Leak Moss based on the strength of me rocking with his brother. But it's only going to be so many times where somebody could be like, yo, man, you don't need to do this for me. You're annoying me, he said. That's what really hit me when he said I was annoying him.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean you absolutely right. You absolutely right, Mikey. I mean you a man at the end of the day. You was helping the brother out. You know what I'm saying? And
Nah, that don't sound right, my nigga. That nigga was helping out for mad long. What the fuck?
yeah. Now I know, but let me hold up. I want to reset the room, Mikey. I want to reset the room, and then we're gonna get back to the conversation.
Yep.
Welcome to the Bulletz Gotti show. You're now rocking with Bulletz Gotti on the Clubhouse app. Make sure y'all click the greenhouse at the top, Gotti Game 4.0. Make sure y'all follow the moderators that's on the stage and everybody that's talking. Make sure y'all please hit that greenhouse at the top. Follow the club. Share the room in the hallway. Please share the room in the hallway. We need at least 30 motherfucking shares or something, man. Share the room in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all follow the club. Let's get back to the conversation. Yo, Mikey, let
What's
me ask you
good?
a question, man. How your rapport with Smurf, man? Is y'all still beefing, man? Because I know you and Smurf was on bad terms. I know Smurf and you had a good relationship, but what like how the rapport is it still the same or it
Well,
gotten better?
yo, you know, it's funny because we were talking about it a little earlier, what happened with Cadillac Ty, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, yo, so I'm on my way back from New York. You know, I'm on my way back from New York. I just made a run to New York to do some work and shit.
Yeah.
And I got a call from Smurf. I had
Mm-hmm.
actually just talked to Cadillac Ty, right?
Yeah.
Because I had just done a blog with Smurf actually breaking down that whole situation.
Yeah.
You know, Smurf, I don't know if y'all saw it, but Smurf broke down the whole blog or the whole situation where Cadillac Ty ran up and, you know, talked to 50 and checked 50 Cent over one of
Yeah.
the G Unit guys getting at his girl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did this whole blog with Bangum, and out the blue, you know, I was talking with Cadillac Ty. You know, I was trying
Yeah.
to arrange a new interview with Cadillac Ty, and we
Yeah.
spoke on the situation. I told him about the blog that we had released. So
Mm-hmm.
then Smurf called me, and I was like talking, and I was trying to, you know, tell Smurf what I had just told Cadillac Ty. And that's where I went wrong, you guys. So I basically told Smurf, I was like, yo, Smurf, I was just on the phone with Cadillac Ty, and he confirmed that whole situation that you had done in our most recent podcast where you spoke about how he confronted 50. And Smurf just spazzed out, y'all. Smurf was like, what
Yeah.
the hell are you doing? Why are you talking to my ops about me? Why are you talking to my ops about me, Mikey T? You're done. You're done. Da, da, da. He started freaking out on me about talking to Cadillac Ty about him. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Smurf, you're tripping, bro. This is a blog that we done put out and it has over 50,000 views on it. Like, this is something that's already on the internet right now. And that's really where Smurf and my relationship broke off.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you know, I'm gonna keep it real. Like watching those videos, right, Mikey? Because you and Smurf, y'all put out. When I'm talking about great content, y'all put out the best content ever. A lot of stories, a lot of Smurf was saying, and to keep it real, a lot of you could hear Smurf was better with 50, and then you hear times where Smurf, you know, gave it up to 50 and gave him his respect, and then you like I remember the video you did with Smurf, and he talked about I think it was you, where he talked about 50 had the dude that shot at him that
Yeah.
tried to kill him. And he was in the man video, the I'm the man video. He talked about, yo, he was in the I'm the man video.
Right.
This dude tried to kill me. And you that whole video like fucking like went crazy on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? A
Right.
lot of the videos that you did with Smurf was like golden content. Like that was like what I see a lot of dudes doing now with certain artists or certain individuals, that's what you was doing with Smurf. Smurf content was like before a lot of these dudes getting like certain individuals they interviewing now. that they said, yo, I'm gonna put this one on my platform, like Gully TV, like with Gully TV doing the Haitian Jack thing. What you was doing with Smurf was before what Gully did with Haitian Jack, and what you did with Smurf was like that was golden content. And every time those videos would shoot, that'd be in the blogs, that'd go viral, motherfuckers would repost it, and then everybody wanted to start interviewing Smurf. But you asked Smurf before anybody else was dealing with Smurf. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, man, these bloggers is my sons. A lot of these
Fact.
bloggers is my sons, man.
Hey,
They
so that's the problem though. Niggas don't give nobody credit though, bro. A lot of niggas like to take niggas' idea. Like, for example, Hassan Campbell.
Mikey, funny.
How many niggas that big in the industry niggas
Clubhouse
take that
Daily
nigga
News.
shit, bro, every fucking day.
Yeah, I actually, my dude AB actually put me on the phone with Hassan Campbell when I was in Miami. I was at Wet Willie's, which is the spot out right out on the beach and shit. So I was there. I was getting some drinks with my boy, and AB, who is a close friend of Hassan Campbell, actually noticed me and called me over, sent over a few drinks and called me over, and he actually put me on the phone with Hassan Campbell and shit like that. You know, so and Hassan didn't really, I don't really think he knew too much about what I was doing with Ab, but I made sure to let him know. I made sure to let him know about a little about what I'm doing personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get a chance to talk to people like this, like one opportunity I got to speak with Drake. You know what I mean? Drake hit me up with the classic, what's up, gentlemen? When he introduced himself to all of us, I made sure to introduce myself in my full name to Drake. You know what I mean? I'm doing some things that a lot of these other bloggers are not doing. I don't know if y'all have heard it, man, but I'm probably the only blogger that ever hollered at Rihanna. No other blogger has ever hollered at Rihanna.
Mikey T is funny.
No other blogger has ever
Mikey T
hollered
is
at
funny,
Rihanna. Hold on. And got the
Sounded like Soldier Boy.
Clubhouse Daily News, y'all.
I'm the first blogger to holler at Rihanna.
That's funny.
When you say you hollered at her, what you mean by that? What happened?
All right, so we're at the French
Clubhouse Daily
Montana
News,
Pop
man.
That
Thanks for
video
tuning
shoot.
in,
You know,
man.
Wayne,
Like, comment,
Rick
subscribe,
Ross,
share.
Drake is there and shit. Khaled, everybody's there. You know, so
Shout out
Rihanna
Gotti.
was actually kicking it in a couple of Escalades. There was a couple Escalades. I guess they was French's Escalades. So we walked by, and my boy Blue actually noticed Rihanna. He's like, "That's Rihanna." And I looked over, and like, she was light skinned as hell, beautiful, dark, shiny black hair.
He
And,
said
you know, I
light
had the
skinned as
camera
hell.
around my neck and shit because I was there filming. Lil Wayne was riding on a skateboard, looked like he was rolling balls. You know what I'm saying? Girls was shooting each other with super soakers and shit. So I'm filming the shit. So we walk by Rihanna. I have the camera on my neck, right? And her security guard, who's standing like 15 feet away, he's like, "Don't even think about it," because he thought I was like about to put the camera up and start filming Rihanna. So we all walk back to my whip and we all start smoking. And I actually just bought an ounce of Blue Dream. We had a bottle of Hennessy. So Rihanna then comes walking by on the grass, you guys. And not only did your boy holler at her, but I actually had Rihanna tripping. I'm the only blogger that had Rihanna tripping out here, man.
Bombo clad.
Now, Mikey,
All right,
what you
I
mean you had
Yo,
Rihanna tripping, bro? You got to break that
Yeah,
down.
you
How did
gotta
you have
break
her
it.
tripping?
So
What
you
happened?
probably the only white man other than Eminem to get her.
Well, I think she might have thought I was Leonardo DiCaprio or something because, like, a few days later, I read on Media Takeout she was like in a club with Leonardo, so she must have thought I was Leo and DM'd him or something. But in reality, so we're back at my car now smoking. We're smoking Blue Dream now, mind you, because this is gonna play a major factor in this. So Rihanna walks by, right? Nobody says nothing. Rihanna walks by. She's got like some stilettos. She's wearing stilettos, a dress. She's in the grass, you guys, in stilettos. Now that probably spells defeat right there. If we got any females in here and shit. So she's walking by, and I call out, "Yo, Riri." I'm like, "Yo, Riri, come smoke with us. Come smoke with us, Riri." She turns around. Rihanna turns around. She trips. She tripped. She turned around. She saw me. She tripped. She's like, she made sure she didn't fall, y'all. And then she says,
this
"I'm on
nigga
the
capping.
low. I'm on the low. I'm on the low." She said that, y'all. She's like, "I'm on the low." Why was Rihanna telling your boy she was on the low, man? It's because she had to. If Drake wasn't there, we would be in a whole nother position right now, y'all.
Hey, yo,
Nah.
Mikey, I want to ask you. I want to ask you this, right, Mikey? Because
What's up?
I wanna get back. I want to go a little more further back. So,
I appreciate y'all
I
letting me
remember.
sidebar.
No problem, no problem. You know that's what we do. But yo, Mikey, I just want to talk like about French because I remember you and French had like a good rapport. You
Let's
know,
talk about French. He
you,
actually called me Mikey T, the porno star, one
that's
time.
a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I remember like you was heavy with the Coke Boy movement. You know, Ching French and like
Yeah, it was
how you feel
crazy.
about how you feel about French and the relationship and what happened.
You know, it was crazy. When I first met French Montana, it was literally a month after Max B got locked up. It was actually in Providence, Rhode Island, at this spot called the Pearl, this little nightclub and shit. So French was there. I remember this. I remember we met. We met and shit. So I shook hands with him. We started talking. He saw the camera around my neck, so he knew I was a blogger and shit. So he was like, "Yo, put the camera up. Put the camera up. Let's shoot some shit." Now, y'all, you will never this day and age ever hear French Montana say to a cameraman, "Put the camera up. Let's film something." Never in life would you hear French Montana say that to somebody. And y'all, unfortunately, my camera was dead. Unfortunately, my camera was dead at that point. I had a dead camera at that point in time, and I could not film French Montana that day. Though we did meet. Um, Second time I linked up with French, he was in the studio with Mass Pike Miles. And then the third time we actually did an interview. It's before he ever signed with Ross or anybody. We did an interview. And then the fourth time he was shooting the Paranoid remix video with everybody, Ross, Jadakiss, Lil Durk, and actually I left out of time. I actually linked up with him at the Shot Caller remix video shoot as well with Rick Ross and Diddy. That was my first time ever meeting Diddy. When I heard Diddy was in the room, I was like, all right, Diddy's not leaving this room without meeting Mikey T, the movie star. So I made sure that I met Diddy that day. But it was crazy because I did an interview with Max B, and that album actually was put on that song or that interview was actually used on French Montana's album. Not just anywhere, you guys. My interview with Max B starts off the French Montana Excuse My French album. So yeah,
That's
we
a
pretty
fact.
much
That's a
are.
fact. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
we're pretty much written in history together. You know, Kanye West actually has a credit on that. So I technically have a credit with Kanye West. Um, what other blogger has a credit with Kanye
Not
West?
that many.
Yeah, really not that many.
That's a fact.
So but yeah, French is cool, man. It really sucked I didn't have any camera battery the first time we met because I really probably would have got everything out of him that night. Pause. But you know what I mean? But you know, it shit happens. But anything else in regard to French Montana you wanted to know?
Yeah, so like with how he rose from underground mixtape, because French came a long way. I remember seeing French from his Cocaine City days to basically, to where he's at now,
Right.
and being with the whole Coke Boy movement with Cheese, Flip, and Chinks. Like it just shows like the dude he reached for the stars and he just blew, Like I know that, you were part of that history. So how
Yeah,
you feel
man.
about his success, man?
Yeah, a lot of people were looking at Chinks like crazy because
Yeah.
of how much he believed in French Montana. They were like, bro, like they were kind of like trying to tell him not to believe in French Montana or some shit. Like the writing wasn't on the wall, you know. And all it took for Chinks was to have that little bit of loyalty, and look where it took him. I mean, he was dating one of Khloe Kardashian's best friends. You know what I mean? The chick that ended up with OT Genesis. He
Fact,
was
fact.
he was hanging out with Diddy and shit. He made it to a whole nother level. And this is the same guy that was hitting me up in the DM saying, Mikey T, we need to go blog together. But he was a real one, man. Every time I ran into Chinks, he was like, yo, let's come to my studio in Long Island. or if we were at the Yo Gotti album listening party or the album release party for the I Am album, I believe. Yeah, you know, like Chinks Chinks really was a good dude, man, and I appreciate him for the opportunities that he gave me and shit. Like when that day when I went to the Paranoid remix video, he was running around introducing me to everybody. Like Rick Ross, he brought me up to Ross. He brought me up to Dirk again. You know, I had already met Dirk, but Dirk actually was a little bit more out of his shell. You know, I got to interview Dirk a second time. Dirk ended up calling me the hardest cracker. You know what I mean? But a lot of people ask, why did I come back from Miami and shit? But yo, man, I've been doing a lot here in Connecticut, like we was talking about earlier. We got everything right here. Philly, New Jersey, New York. I did an interview with Sue Surf. I consider it one of the best interviews I've ever done. Benny the Butcher, you know what I mean? I feel like it stands up to the work I was doing with Rick Ross and getting the opportunity to interview Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Interviewing Scott Storch and Pusha T.
Yeah. Hey, Mikey,
Hell
I
yeah,
want
that's
to ask
cool
you.
though, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I want to
Appreciate you.
ask you. I want to ask you. Because we talked about Max. We've been talking about Max. Max B, the relationship with Max, and you know, because you've been really supporting Max a lot too. Max, just like AR had, man. I just want to know, like, how you feel about, you know, Max, you know, getting the love that he getting and getting his
What's good
flowers.
with y'all,
You know,
gang?
even though he not home. Salute, salute, salute. Even though he not home right now. And you know, from back then, you know, because Max had a wave before French. You know, Max was the wave. You know, and he was killing the scene in the streets of New York and CT.
Facts. Facts, man. Yeah, Max B, you know, I really only linked up with Max B once he got locked up. I linked up with Max B in 2011 after I had put out an article about Max B's album potentially getting pushed back. He had an album with Amalgam Digital. It was called Vigilante Season. And I put up a little blog where I said that it looked like the album would more than likely get pushed back. So the owner of Amalgam Digital actually reached out to me and said, yo, man, the album's actually not getting pushed back. It's actually getting pushed forward a week. So I was like, oh, that's what's up, man. I'm looking forward to it. Is there any way you could possibly put me in contact with Max B so I could get an interview with him? And yeah, so I actually did that interview with Max B, I want to say, when I was at the airport and I was flying down to Miami. I did it at the airport, which is kind of crazy. Now, that interview, it was about 45 minutes, so I guess it must have been a couple phone calls. I believe he called me on a three-way. So that interview was 45 minutes. I spanned it into 11 videos and I had it like, you know, popping for pretty much, you know, a whole year. We landed up in magazines off of that and we even ended up on French Montana's album off of that. So I really considered it a major success. Max said when he gets home that we will do another interview. I hope he remembers that. You know what I mean? Obviously, when Max gets home, it's probably going to be crazier than when Bobby Shmurda came home, you know, and it looks like he's coming home in 2025, guys.
Yeah. He gonna be coming home in 2025. That's what they said. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people on Max. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, people thought he was gonna come home last year. You know the way they was dropping music.
Yeah, the way that I would put out the interview, when I put out an interview, it's like somebody would every year on Boxton or every year on some different website there would be a new blog about Max B coming home in the summer, because like it just like that blog that I did, that video interview I did with Max B became so like notorious that it just popped up every summer.
Yeah.
but
That's what's up.
but But also, man, when I walked into the Shot Caller music video shoot with French and Diddy and Ross, all those guys that you mentioned were there, like Flip, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Gangsta Flip and Chinks and all those guys and shit. And yo, they was all like, they must have knew French was using it on his album or something, because they all came up to me like, yo, this is the guy that did the interview with Max B. It was really like an iconic moment.
Mm-hmm. That was a that was a legendary moment. I'm not gonna lie. Like that intro, that's on the album. Like that's like you said, that's Edge and Stone. Say what you want. Ain't that many bloggers on albums.
Yeah,
Ain't that
yeah.
many. Ain't that many. You know what I'm saying? It's not that many. They might be on a mixtape, but they damn sure ain't on an album.
Well, I got
All right.
3 of those.
Yeah.
What's that paperwork they had on Max B? Did you ever have that, Mikey? Did you ever cover that?
The paperwork that they had on Max B, I mean, I think it boils down to Max B getting. I think there was some video that was released years ago where Max B was on the phone with Jim Jones and the cops actually pulled up to him, and for some reason it looked like the blogger was actually writing in text what the cops were saying or what Max was saying. I never covered that though, man. You know what I mean? Because in all honesty, I think this is what I think, you guys. When they say Max B snitched on Gina Conway, honestly, I think the fact that Gina was Max's girlfriend, they met or whatever, typical type shit. She probably
Yeah.
started stripping. She probably started stripping to keep him around, to keep money. We've all seen that type of shit 1,000 times. Max B got a little bit tired with it and was like, "Yo, I'm done with this chick. She done stripped her way. She done stripped her way out of my life." And so Max
Yo,
B stopped messing with her. So one day the police pulled up to Max B's house, and he was getting ready to go do a video shoot with Jim Jones or whatever it was. And the
mhm.
cops were like, "Hey man, we know you're affiliated with Gina Conway. Where the hell does she be at?" At this point, the cops were only looking for Gina Conway. I think Max B didn't know anything that she was involved with. Max B just wanted to get on with his shit, and he was like,
Hey,
"I
hey,
don't know that."
Mikey,
What's
you
up?
know what's crazy, right?
Hey, Mikey T. Mikey
Hold
T, I
What's
on,
got
up?
a question for you.
hold on, real quick. I got you, bro. But with the Gina Conway thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be doing a room real soon about that, and I'm gonna bring because my old head basically had Gina Conway living in his house. And it
Okay.
was like their mail. So Gina Conway, to be honest with you, she told on Max that didn't have nothing to do with Max.
Yeah.
Pooh Sims was greedy, and basically he caught the case. And because when you incarcerated, a lot of people they feel some type of way because this man was able to get his sentence cut short. Like he had 20 years, he was facing 75. He got it cut down each time when he go back to the appeal because he really wasn't on the scene. The nigga was thirsty and took the motherfucking the fucking went up there and it was 2 niggas that went to the hotel to basically do that robbery. So it's
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of shit to the story, man. But Max definitely they wanted to fame Max character because Max get a lot of love. And it's sad to say, man. It's sad, man. But Mac
Yeah.
ain't saying
What I was saying is like I pretty much don't think Max B had anything to do with that. The cops showed up to him and they're like, "Yo, where's this chick Gina Conway? We know you're affiliated with her." He's like, "I don't know where the hell that chick is. She be in the 40 projects, man. I don't be with that chick. Look where I'm living. She be in the fucking dungeon." But that's kind of how I look at it. Like I don't think Max B had anything to do with that.
facts.
But of course he's sitting in jail on those charges like he's the one who set it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Quick question, Mikey T. Since
What's up, bro?
since your little scuffle you had, have you been picking up on wrestling class or doing any sparring just to keep yourself ready, just in case you know?
Well, bro, I don't know if you don't know, but when Leak Moss actually tried to lunge in and slap me because he was trying to, make me look like a punk, he thought he could just roll up and make me look like a little bitch by slapping me or something. He thought I was going to just go for that like every other like the little white boy that Mano slapped and just stood there and was like, "Mano, why would you do this to me?" Nah, I don't know if you're mistaken, bro, but when Leak Moss leaned in to slap me, I did exactly what I told him I was going to do. I pulled back and I blocked his slap. He did not connect with me on that slap. And
Okay, so
then
you
and
so you
then
already been in trading.
and then speaking of, yeah, I've been wrestling. I've been fighting my whole life, bro. You know what I mean? You be fighting, you slam somebody, you give somebody a spine buster, some shit like that. But nah, after that, after he came to slap me, I had an opportunity to grab him, which I did. And he thought it was still sweet at that point. Like I'm saying, he thought it was still sweet. He thought he was just there to slap me. And then that's when I hauled off and punched him twice in his head.
Yo, I fuck with you, Mikey, man. I fuck
That
with
nigga
you.
funny
Nah,
as
you
I'm
shit.
the
did hit him, yo,
only.
Mikey. You know
Add
when
it.
I watched
Shit.
that
Add
video.
it to the
Mikey,
list.
crazy.
I'm
No,
the
I'm gonna
only
keep it
Clubhouse
100.
blogger
Daily
to punch.
News.
What other
We
blogger punched
chilling
a
with the
rapper in
Gotti
the head
show.
twice?
No, you did
Nah, that's
Philly,
a
punch him. I'm not gonna
fact.
lie.
stand up.
He was having a little rough time with you when it come to like the grabbing because you basically you had him in the you was
I'll
trying
let
to
you
put him in
live,
like
Mikey.
a motherfucking guillotine. I ain't gonna even lie, man. I was
I'm gonna
watching
let
that
you live.
video.
I'm gonna let you live, Mikey.
So yeah, that was my question. I was asking Brody if like he was already in
Like,
training, or
comment,
did he pick up
subscribe.
some training
Thanks for
afterwards,
tuning
or he
in.
was
Nah,
already
but to be
skilled.
honest with you, man, like to be 100% honest with you, when it comes to fighting, man, I've been fighting since I was like 10 years old. Like I used to fight kids from my older brother, because my older brother was a couple grades ahead of me, and like the kids would try to pick on my older brother, so I'd be fighting the older kids. So that's why I'd never been scared of an ass whooping, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the first time I ever had my nose busted open like that. And that was actually because of my own self. Like I freaking smashed my nose onto the pavement. But that could have worked out for me. You know what I mean? Leak Moss and all them. If that didn't happen, maybe they could have wanted to do worse. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that worked out for me because after that, they was all like, oh, he's bloody. I want to get the hell away from him. He's bloody. But they did not leave me knocked out, man.
Yeah. No
I just
question. I wasn't trying to stir no bullshit. I was just asking after the situation, did you pick up on some more training or not?
Oh, more
yeah.
training. Bro, like one time I punched this kid in the head. He came to school the next day with the biggest eye you would ever have to see. They called me into the principal's office when they saw his face, and they were like, Mike, you got to understand how much power you have. So, like I know I got a really tough punch. You know what I mean? I know I got a really tough punch. So I don't really worry about that. But in all honesty, when it comes to working out and shit like that, I mean, that's not me, man. That's not really me. I'm not like the athletic type. I'm more like the type like Biggie. I like to smoke. I like to smoke weed as a hobby. You know what I mean?
Bro, ain't this Twiz right here, man. Mikey,
What
you know what I'm
up,
saying?
Twiz?
What's up, Mikey? Salute to the chat and all that. Salute to Gotti. You know what I'm saying? But I just gotta say this real quick, bro. Like, I know a lot of street niggas, you know what I'm saying? Salute, bro. I know a lot of street niggas that don't throw their hands up, bro. They just get straight busy. You can catch them without they burner and smack the shit out of them. But it's like with Mikey T, bro. Niggas and Mikey T shoes wouldn't have moved how Mikey T moved, bro. Like niggas was expecting him to call the cops, to press charges. He ain't do none of that shit, bro. Like
Hey
my
yo,
man was in the
Twiz.
middle of area ass.
Hey, yo, Twiz. He didn't take the Gully TV route, man. Gully backed
Exactly.
down from the fade, man.
Vlad TV route.
Exactly.
Or the Vlad TV
Yeah,
route.
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, truthfully, a nigga think he would have ran inside the motherfucking store. You know what I'm saying? But he was
Exactly.
like, you know what I mean? He was right there, like, you know what I mean? What it is, you know what I mean? Yelling at the niggas down the street. So I respect his gangster. That's why I was just
Facts.
asking, like, if
Facts.
he was skilled before or if he just picked his skills up a little bit after. Like, did you start to get a little bit in shape just in case you know the next motherfucker might run up on you? You know what I mean? You might have to stay ready, you know?
I'm not
But
really worried about
I
that.
think I think Mikey having a heart that he had, you know what I'm saying? That shit was enough, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we all take L's. Everybody can take a L any given time. You know what I'm saying? But I know certain niggas that probably would have ran in that situation. They would have seen two niggas coming at them. You not in your city. You know, that's like you out Chirac or something, or a Philly nigga being out New York and niggas coming at you like, you know what I'm saying? He stood
You
there,
don't know
held
what
his
they got in their
ground.
pocket. You don't know what they holding in their sweats. You know what I mean? Niggas
Exactly.
automatic.
Like where Mikey got slid up on, like 2 weeks after that, nigga got his head knocked off right there at that same spot. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like I told him after the situation happened, bro, like you held your grounds, bro. You ain't go talk to no cops. That's all that matters, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, definitely gotta salute Mikey for that, bro, cause for him not to be from that area and shit like that, he held his grounds, bro.
And,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's what we gotta split the difference between. Is like Mikey T is not a citizen. He didn't really went in that back alley like 5-5 crib. He's official.
Facts, facts,
Yeah, I
facts. I
was on the
know.
back. I was on the back blocks with these guys, man. Dude shouting me out, telling me I'm the realist. But then 2 weeks later, I'm not even cool with him no more. So it was really just odd to me. You know, a lot of people are like, Mikey T, you've been supporting Ab and Low for so long. You know what I mean? Why would this ever happen to you? You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like saying, oh, Mikey T. Some people like I don't know. I feel like Leak Moss thinks the first time I ever did an interview was with his brother or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the way that they put that shit on me. I feel like King Erner thinks the first person I ever did an interview with was AR Ab. You know what I mean? Like King Erner, just because your first interview was with AR Ab, you know what I mean? Just because your only relevant interview was with AR Ab, don't put that shit on me. And another thing, like, don't put the drug use on me either. Like, don't put your demons on me. Like, I've never had a problem using a prescription drug. And I never go on my channel and I never put anybody down who has had a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's a real thing in all of these different cities throughout the country. It's a real thing. So for somebody to like come on their channel or on social media and tell me that I'm a Xan head, you know what I'm saying? I done a Xan like
Clubhouse
one
Daily
time in my
News
life. I popped a Xan, I fell
exclusive.
asleep. I was like, what
Gotti
the hell is
show.
the point of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all see what I do on my stream. I smoke mad weed. I smoke that gas. I have a little bit of
Thanks for tuning
champagne.
in.
I'm
Like,
waiting for
comment,
that
share,
Bel Air
subscribe.
endorsement
Voice
so
of
I
the
can be the
Clubhouse
official
streets here
Bel
for
Air
y'all.
blogger. I don't know what the other bloggers are doing, but I'm not dwelling on this shit from the past. You know what I mean? If I wanted to, I could address it anytime, but I'm leaving that shit behind me, y'all. The Bangum Smurf shit too, though. You know what I mean? Because I really wanted to show Bangum Smurf a lot of love, but he walked away from our podcast. He walked away from the shit. Like he just
Y'all had a good thing. Let me say this. Y'all had a good thing going because I ain't gonna lie, y'all could have did something with that podcast, man. You
right,
what y'all was doing with them videos, like, and I'm talking about from before he got with MMG to when he got with MMG, and then when he left MMG, like every video he was dropping with you was classics, man.
right. Yeah, but the thing about that with the podcast with Smurf was like, yo, let's be honest. Everybody that jumps on YouTube, you ain't even gonna get a check the first month that you jump on
Hell
YouTube.
no.
I made sure, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I made sure Smurf got a check the first time that he jumped on YouTube. It wasn't like a big check or anything, but I'm like, yo, you need to understand taxes are involved in this shit. I'm the one doing that. And you got to understand, you're just getting started with this shit, and like the whole dynamic of analytics has changed, so you can't just expect the whole world to come at you in a second. Now Smurf, we had
That's a
continued
good
doing the
point.
podcast
It
to where
take a
we would
lot
actually
of
start
time.
generating some good money, but he just fell out of it too much, saying, oh, that's
Everybody's
chump
in the
change,
game.
oh, that's bitch money, that's pocket money. That's why Smurf left the podcast, y'all. He didn't realize what it could have turned into, man. We would be so far at this point, because I know he sees what I'm doing now. You know,
Gotta be
no
patient for
no
all y'all out
fear of
there.
jumping on the camera, able to address whatever topics. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I noticed that. I'm not gonna lie, like
Gotti show.
Mikey, I'm gonna keep it real.
Clubhouse Daily News
I like
collaboration.
and another thing that I like that you promote. I love how you was supporting Snow Gang, Fab Dawn and them, man. I love
Trigger
that, man. I
op.
love that, man. That's the new that and a lot of people don't know, man. That's the new era of South Side, man. That's the new
Facts.
era of Queens, man. And you supporting that movement. That was beautiful, man. I salute you on that, Mikey, because you basically gave them an outlet where they could promote their music and all that. And basically these dudes is doing their thing right now, man.
A little bit, because I don't want 50 to just totally blackball them because of their association with me and shit. You know, I done ran through Miami with Trigger. I brought
Yeah.
Fab Don to studios and shit. We did blogs. We did a lot of promotion. Fab Don gives me a lot of credit for
Yes.
doing early promotion in his career, and I really respect the hell out of that. But Fab Don right now, Trigger Ock, they're just on a whole nother level, man. And I really like what they're doing. Trigger needs to just keep his nose clean. He needs to
Yeah.
keep straight, because 50 is really fucking with Trigger Ock, man.
That's a fact. He been fucking with them for a long time, and I'm glad that your outlet was the one that put them dudes on. Because a lot of people, was sleeping on. Like people thought Queens ain't had no artists, man, and they was
Mm.
sleeping, man. Fab Dawn and them been working, man. I'm glad you've been promoting them on your platform. And I want to say this too, Mikey. Like the relate because you brought 50 up. How's the relationship with 50, man?
Well,
You know,
man, I met 50 one time. I actually met 50 in Connecticut one time, and I asked Fifth if we could do an interview, and 50 looked like he was about to say yes. Like 50 was literally about to say yes.
yeah.
I've been to G Unit offices, been up there and shit. I done grabbed the 50 Cent Moon Man from the VMAs. You know what I'm saying? I grabbed the Moon Man. I don't know who else been up in there and didn't grab it. I took my ass in the G Unit office and grabbed the Moon Man. So I actually spoke with 50. I was like, yo, Fifth, I've been fucking with your shit since Power of the Dollar, man. Can we get an interview? I understand you're a little busy right now, but can we get an interview? He was at one of those effing things where they were, doing the effing bottles. So I went up,
Okay.
I spoke with him. 50 was about to say yes to the interview,
Mm-hmm.
but then he looked at somebody and then he's like, didn't we just turn down Channel 12 News?
Oh shit. Yeah.
So, I was like, yo, Fifth, that ain't gonna, come on, man. I'm like, Fifth. I'm like, what's up with that, man? I'm grinding. I've been doing interviews for 12 years, man. Let's get this shit. And then 50's like, take the picture. So we take a picture real quick. I'm like, yo, but what about this interview, man? We need to get this shit. I'm like, don't shut me down on this interview. So I pretty much got escorted out by 50 Cent security. That
Yeah.
was the last time I had a meeting with 50 Cent. I got escorted out by his security because he didn't want to do an interview with me. Now, a lot of people say I give him the best interview. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who did I just did an interview with G's Gasoline from New York, and he was like, yo, your interviews are professional as fuck. I did an interview with Memphis Bleak. Dude told me it was the best interview of his career. Even Tony Yayo from G
I like
Unit.
the Tony Yayo joint. The Tony Yayo joint was a good one too. I liked the Tony Yayo joint. I liked
Well,
that.
Tony Yayo said I can do a good interview. That's all Tony Yayo has done for me. He said Tony Yayo went on YouTube and said that Mikey T can do a good interview, but he said something about don't ask those stupid questions. Like I don't get how that works. Like do I do good interviews or do I ask stupid questions, Yayo?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey yo, Mikey, let me ask you though.
What's
Another
up,
good
bro?
another good interview. In my opinion that you did, right? What had to be the joint. I'm not a big Casanova fan, but I liked the Casanova interview you did because
Oh my God, man.
he just
Sometimes when
had
you meet up with these guys,
yeah,
sometimes when you meet up with these guys, it gets a little crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. When I met up with Casanova, he had just
yeah.
released the Don't Run record. So
Remember
obviously
that.
he had about 20 goons with him. He had more than that. He had
Oh,
like he had like 20 goons. He had Memphis Bleak out there. He had members of Warehouse out there. So when I met Casanova, I don't know, something about I did something that impressed Casanova that was kind of like it's kind of like what that dude Trill Marty does now, like where he
yeah.
like pranks dudes, but I actually do shit where I let the artist know I'm a real motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
So Casanova was like, I fuck with Mikey T. So we did an interview. One of my dopest little pieces. I was actually thinking about re-releasing that just because I don't think a lot of people know I've interviewed Casanova.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that, and that was right. I remember when you did that. That was right. He just had dropped "Don't Run," and that was a little bit, but that was right after the whole Irving Plaza shit. So like that had to
That
be
was
right.
right. I got to say, that was right before Casanova learned how to dance.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Speaking of that, though, because Casanova was like, "Yo, it's you got to run, you gotta move with the sharks, or you got to get left with the fish, or whatever the saying is." But Casanova was like, "Yo, I need to learn how to dance, or else I'm not gonna be looked at like these other dudes." You guys know how it is. I mean, I've probably been in 1,000 clubs where I was just standing there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, when I was around DJ Khaled and all them in the Miami clubs, and they would play Meek Mill. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? I would try to jump up and act all crunk and shit, but they would all just be standing there, and I'm kind of just like, damn, I'm the only one jumping up and shit. So yeah, you know, Casanova dancing really saved his career, in my opinion. Otherwise, he would have just been looked at as every other dude.
Fact. That's a whole fact what you saying, because if he didn't start the dancing and having those challenges, yeah, he would have just been like a Uncle, not like, I like Uncle Murder, but he'd have been just like Uncle Murder and a lot of other dudes that talk that hard shit in their raps.
Yeah, you got to
They
set
wouldn't have.
yourself apart.
Yeah, definitely, 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 definitely. That's a fact. Yo, Mike, I want to ask you, Rick Ross, man. You know, because you
Ricky
got a
Rose,
lot of footage together. Ricky Rose, man. We gotta talk about Ross, man.
rolling up at Ricky Rose's house. My camera died. As you guys know, you've heard on this tonight, my camera be dying on me. So I'm at Ross's house filming the pool party and everything, politicking with everybody. Stale, Gunplay, Tracy T, Trey Songz was there with some big ass freaking bodyguard. He ain't want to talk to me though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm politicking with everybody. I need to charge my camera. I go inside to charge my camera. I'm rolling up at Rick Ross's house. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, I made it this far to where I'm the only blogger rolling up at Rick Ross's house. You know? So then Rick Ross came downstairs. I walked over beside him. I lit up my blunt as he lit up his blunt as well. It was kind of odd. Had a little word with him. You know, I was really trying to make that Bang'em Smurf situation work. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, I was really trying to make that Bang'em Smurf situation work and shit. But you know, a couple of Rick Ross's videographers actually got jealous of me. Dre Films and Spiff TV. However much they want to say it or not, they actually got jealous of me because you know, I had Dre Films hit me up one time like, yo, Mikey T, man, I need you. Why like you can't be filming all the shit behind the scenes? You can't be showing all of our props behind the scenes. I had John Jay hitting me up, yo, Mikey T, we fuck with you, bro. But I saw that you just filmed that shit with Jada Kiss and French Montana. If you can please, Mikey T, not release it on World Star tomorrow, because they knew I was like Mr. World Star. And like, you know, so I was like, I kept it cool with them. You know, I was like, all right, I'm fucking with MMG. You know what I'm saying? But then the way that they like to run their fucking videographers is just not my style. You know what I mean? It's not really becoming of anything that we're talking about, where we're all upcomers that should be writing in the Source magazine. A lot of these people are just computer editors, you know what I'm saying? And they're getting yelled at by Dre Films like, yo, go film over there, what are you doing? And I'm just like, yo, I'm not feeling this vibe, man. Here's a thumb drive, here's the MMG thumb drive, bring it to my apartment later on tonight. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. So I don't know, they just kind of like, they got me out of MMG, and I was like, fuck it, I ain't even gonna nothing's happening with our artist over at MMG. Ross isn't giving us no attention. Meek Mill and Wale had blown up. But yeah, I think it was really the videographers, Dre Films and Spiff TV, who kind of got me screwed up in that whole situation. Also, but a lot of those guys still mess with Ross. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. And you know, cause Mikey, you know, I'm not gonna lie, man. Watching that, like with the whole like the MMG out, cause you had a lot of Raw's content on the channel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not only just being at his house, but at the video shoots behind the scenes,
Oh yeah.
in the club. I really, I'm not gonna lie, Mikey. I really like was like, yo, Mikey T's like the MMG cameraman, but you telling the whole back end what happened. That's I can understand that. You got Dre Films, Spiff
Yep.
TV, you got two cameramans, and then you got you coming in there. They felt like you was coming and you was gonna outshine them in that. You know?
Yeah.
So
Ross
I
didn't
understand
really
it.
understand. Like Ross didn't really understand what I was bringing to the table. You know what I mean? Like, because they're just cameramen. They shoot dope ass music videos. There's no denying that. Spiff actually has the ear of an A&R. There's no denying that. But I do something different. I do news. I remember they signed Fat Trell and they signed Tracy T. Nobody knew
Yeah,
they signed Tracy T, or they wouldn't have known if I didn't put it out there on the internet. If Tracy T didn't invite me to Ross's house, you know what I mean, for another day to come and shoot an interview with him. Yeah, I remember that shit. I was doing it. Yeah, that day actually, Ross and Tracy T were both in the studio, and I was filming Ross and Tracy T doing the 16. We put that on World Star, and then we also put the joint with Champagne on World Star. And Ross told me, he's like, "Yo, he's like, make sure you don't release Champagne until after we've released 16." So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna show Ross that I can be loyal on that one. So I released the 16 in studio. I wait a few months. I wait till they actually release Champagne. And then I drop my behind the scenes of Champagne, them in the studio. And then I see them again at the shit remix when Ross, Fat Trell, and Tracy T were actually doing the shit remix to Future song. And Ross was like, yo, Mikey T, he's like, didn't you release a blog when I told you not to? I was like, nah, Rose, you told me to release the blog after you guys dropped Champagne, and that's what I did. Ross was like, oh, all right, that's what's up. He's like, go film Fat Trell and Tracy T. And then he pointed over because Fat Trell and Tracy T were actually by a dumpster that was lit on fire and shit. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Ross was giving me some direction. I remember after one of the second times I met Rick Ross, it was at one of his Best Buy signings, and I was filming him, and then Ross told me to come over with him by his car, and I kept on doing an interview with him. Yeah, we were making a whole lot of waves with Rick Ross, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
don't think he understood what I was doing, because if he could have actually had a blogger on the team rather than, I mean, he had good management and he had good videographers. He was killing the game when it came to visuals. Like Max B and French Montana doing visuals, Rick Ross was like that on steroids. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he the king of visuals. He one rapper I could see. The next to him that I say with visuals is probably 50, because 50 got E for Vera,
Well,
but like
bro, I
Wiz
mean,
Khalifa.
those visuals for the massacre kind of sucked.
no, that did. I'm not gonna lie, but like the Raws, in my opinion, like you said, Raws do a video for every record he drop. Let's just keep it real. He do a record. He drops a video for every record he drop. Whether it's a mixtape record, whether it's a single, whether it's a album cut, he do videos for everything. So that's one thing I respect. And then he got his behind the scenes and his vlogs. Like he was doing a lot of vlogging. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the MMG channel on YouTube, they was doing a lot of vlogging. But I want to ask you something,
Oh,
Mikey.
1 second, bro. I don't mean to cut you off. I just, I kind of feel like, at the beginning of my career, back in 2009, the game was a lot different. This whole YouTube thing, it was a lot different. You know what I
So,
mean? The route that we've seen guys like Hassan Campbell, Adam 22 take, I
yeah,
wasn't looking at it the same, man. I wasn't looking at it at the same. Back in 2009, I was expecting to come in the game and get attached to a major record label. You know what I
so,
mean?
so,
So, in all honesty, that's why we put all of our eggs into the dice basket with Bang'em Smurf, and we started repping MMG so damn hard. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got an opportunity to work at Circle House, and then I got an opportunity to work at Scott Storch's studio. You know what I'm saying? I really looked at it a little bit different. I didn't see myself as a blogger back then. I saw myself
mhm,
as a president of a record label, an A&R of a
so,
record label, somebody that would be putting out albums. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But it
Oh,
just so
hey,
what's up,
Mikey.
bro?
With the blogging game, like you said, with Adam 22 coming on the scene, and with Hassan and others, and even yourself, like YouTube was really, like you said, it was for dudes to get in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Whether they was acting or doing music, it was really for them to get in the industry. It's just the way that blogging thing took off. I would say in the late 2010s, it started to see that you can make money. You don't have to be in the music industry to get rich. You could be a fucking blogger, sit on your ass and do a whole video, talk about people and be successful at it, and
Right.
everybody will say your name. So that really changed the game with blog, and I say like in the hip hop community, because if you look at hip hop blogs and even battle rap, those was what changed the game, that made a lot of people get on YouTube and start becoming bloggers just off of that. So I,
Real
I do
shit.
agree with you on that.
Yep.
But Mikey, I want to ask you,
Talk to me.
because you and Smurf was still cool at the time. What happened with the relationship with Smurf? and Ross, man. Cause I remember you did the video and he was airing Ross out. He had called you up on the phone. So I never understood what how that transpired and him and Ross start beefing.
How did Rick Ross and Bangum Smurf start beefing? In reality, so Rick Ross must have went to Trinidad a second time. Yep, that's right. Because I went to Trinidad
Mm-hmm.
twice. The second time I went to Trinidad, we were actually with Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we was with Ross. You could ask me about that later if you want. It was a pretty crazy time. But
Yeah.
so Bangum Smurf was in Trini and Ross came back. And apparently Bangum Smurf was waiting for Rick Ross outside of the club. And
Mm-hmm.
Rick Ross walked right past Bangum Smurf as if he was just a nobody. And that made Smurf feel a type of way. But I mean, in all honesty, that happens to everybody. Not not every single artist is the type of dude. Not every artist is like Rocco. You know what I mean? They're not all gonna
Right.
come and shake your hand as they're walking into the club. A lot of the artists, they've got their they got their entourage with them, and they're moving like a train, and they're walking into the club, and they're going to their section. They don't have time to bullshit with everybody that wants to talk to them, because believe me, everybody wants to shake Rick Ross's hand. So that really triggered Ross. I mean, that really triggered Bangum Smurf when Ross actually did not acknowledge him. And I think that's where it started.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cause I when I was listening to the when he did the video, the interview with you, he talked about like how like
What else did he say?
I forgot he was talking basically he was talking about how he gave him a pass in Queens. You know how he talked about like how he was trying to get in touch with with Marquise mom,
Yep. He was trying to get
50
in
baby
touch
mom.
with 50's wife,
Yeah,
ex-wife, and then Smurf was like, yo, I'm dead in that right now. I'm dead
yeah,
in that right now because she will never talk to you, period. So that's just a bozo ass move. We're dead in that. And
yeah,
then he was like, but you can mess with me. You can mess with me
yeah.
though.
He did tell him that. I ain't gonna lie, he did.
But But in all honesty, man, it's like Smurf didn't tell him. Smurf wasn't moving as a businessman, right? You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
he wasn't.
I mean, I understand he got Dice put into position, but he should have had contracts already worked out. This was before MMG became the biggest thing in the world. He should have got a real signing bonus. He shouldn't have, you know what I mean? All that shit, not just running around on the internet and acting like you're signed to somebody. Like you got a t-shirt, you know what I mean? So